My journey with the unexplained began when I was 5. My name is Amber, and I'm a physical medium.
She was crushed, her chest and her throat, and then the breathing stopped.
And the dead come to me for help.
He also slithers around and shows himself as different things, like shapeshifts.
I communicate with dead people. He jumps out of the water and takes people back into the water. And he drowns them and kills them. Come along with me and step into my world. Welcome to Amber's Paraworld. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my podcast, The Dead in Me, which is actually titled from my book that is now available on Amazon. I wrote my first book earlier this summer, and I hope you enjoy it. If you decide to order it and read it, make sure you leave a review. So, I don't think I actually properly introduced myself in the first one. So, my name is Amber. I'm a physical medium, and I document a lot of what I do on YouTube and TikTok as well. So if you want to see what I do, see how I work, see how I do things, that is available on my YouTube channel, which is titled Amber's Paraworld. So let's jump into this next episode. I want to talk about aliens, and I told you in my first one, let's talk about aliens, ETs, extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call them. So, I've had sort of like a love-hate relationship with these beings. In a way, it's like I'm curious as to what they are, who they are, how they work, what they want, what their intentions are, all of that stuff. But I'm also kind of like, in a way, they're kind of scary. So it's one of those creatures, things that I go in with caution. I did have a negative experience earlier this year. It was around February in 2022. Maybe January. I would have to look and see. But, I had went to bed one night and everyone else was asleep. And, the way I lay in bed, I'm facing the wall. I have to lay in a certain position. So the bedroom door is behind me. And not directly behind me, it's like at an angle. And my bedroom door was open. Was the hallway light on? I think so. I think I had green lights in at that time. So anyways, I felt someone or something staring at me. I could tell something was there, and immediately my guides told me it's an alien. It's an alien. And I didn't get like a good feeling from these things. I hadn't even looked yet, so I'm laying there and my heart starts pounding and racing. And, I'm hearing my guides tell me that this thing is not friendly. This isn't an ET, and it was giving me really bad vibes. I didn't want to look, but I'm not going to not look at the same time. So, I turn to look, and during this time I'm asking it to leave. I'm like, you're not welcome here, you need to leave. And I'm trying to throw protections up over the house and everything else, but it's already in here, so it's like it was actually in my house, standing by my bedroom door. But like there's another doorway right directly beside my bedroom door that goes to this room that I keep like canned foods in, and it goes downstairs. Um, it was right in that doorway. So I finally muster up the nerve to roll over, and I'm staring face to face with this being. Granted, we're 10 feet away from each other. I could see its eyes, I could see its face, the height of it. I mean, I kind of laid frozen or sat frozen for just like probably just a few seconds. It seemed like forever. And I was telling it the whole time, like, you need to leave, you need to get out of here. But it didn't like respond to me. Okay, it didn't say anything. Or if it did, I wasn't hearing it. Okay, my fear was definitely taking control at this point. And, you know, my fear was real because, you know, I always tell people you have to trust the intuition you get from these things. You have to trust how you feel when you come face to face with a spirit, a ghost, a cryptid, anything like that. You have to trust how you feel. If they mean no harm, you're probably not gonna feel these vibes. And granted, this is after, you know, I'm a medium. I talk to these things, you know, different things a lot. So for something to give me creepy, negative vibes says a lot, because it doesn't happen that often. But I'm staring at this thing, and then all of a sudden, another one takes shape. Like there's another one, and this one's taller, a little taller, not a lot taller, but it's a little taller. It's about a foot taller than the first one. The first one was short. I didn't even try to put a name on it at first. I was just like, you guys have to leave. Telling them telepathically they have to leave. I'm sure I said it out loud. It was just like one of those moments that just really freaked me out. They were there for, gosh, 5-10 minutes. I don't know their intentions still to this day. I never tried to contact them again. They did leave, and that's when I went in and immediately ran to the living room, grabbed the laptop, and was doing some research. So that's why I say, like, I have this love-hate relationship with extraterrestrials. I know they're not all the same. I understand there's different races of them. There's different ones. There's good ones. There's bad ones. Just like humans, you know, there's good people and there's crappy people in life. There's nice people you meet, and there's people that you wish you never met. It's just, they're like that. So, I mean, I think the conclusion was, from asking a few people, it could have been like a tall and short gray, but then sometimes I've heard that they don't hang out together, so I'm really not sure. I'm not going to tell you one thing is a fact when I don't know that. But I do know that I had this experience for a reason, and I know that because I've had other really scary experiences, and it all was for a better, higher purpose. And sometimes it takes time to figure that out. It takes more time, and this may have been like to ease me into studying them a little more and working with them, if that makes sense. I did do like kind of like a Gansfield earlier this summer, and I was playing some Alien Connection megahertz beats to connect with them. I also have, since this happened, been channeling some ETs and getting messages from them that I can share with people. The first message was a few weeks ago, and they were saying to watch the skies. They were saying to watch the skies, to keep an eye out on the sky, because things are going down. Like there's things in the skies that people can't explain. They're the reason for it. You may hear on TV that it's something else. It was a shooting star. It's a meteor. Yeah, we do get shooting stars, meteor showers. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you think you see something, stop second guessing yourself. Stop trying to make a rhyme or reason for it. If you felt like, hey, oh my gosh, there's a UFO, But then you're like, but let me look up on the internet and see what the news says, or let me watch the news and see what they say about it. And then you figure out, oh, it could have just been, it was just a plane or whatever. I think we all know what planes look like, and we all know what they look like in the sky at night. There's been huge orbs associated with ETs as well, and not just ETs, it's with a lot of other things. But these orbs are like the ones I've seen and the ones my mom has seen are big, and they glow, and they emit their own light. That's a whole different story, a different time many years ago. I recently just got another like download message from the ETs about a week ago, and the message was, it's happening. What you want to happen is happening. Okay? And I think this is not just for, like, some people would take this in a conspiracy sense, right? Or they could take this as a government sense. They could take this as aliens are coming. They could take this in many different ways. And what I've heard from this, like what I got from this, was that it's happening and it's a good thing. But this is like coming from Earth. This is Mother Earth healing itself. This is Mother Earth fighting back. So the world is healing itself. The Earth is healing itself. The ETs are here to help. And yeah, they're going to make their appearance. But we have to not be afraid, and we have to trust that all of our manifesting, all of our good intentions, what we're putting out into this world are finally happening. Don't think that it's not. This is bigger than just the government. This is bigger than just aliens. This is bigger than just you or I, but it starts with you and I, if that makes sense. It takes all of us to come together and want the same things. We want this earth to heal. We want people to understand ETs. We want people to see them, and most of us have already seen them and we didn't know it, because there are some that are ET human. So this message, I think, was super important, and I really wanted to share it with everyone, because I don't think I've actually shared that with anyone publicly yet, that message. I meant to, but I've been so busy that I didn't have a chance to do that. But you know, it's happening. We're working collectively, and I'm talking about humans, angels, spirit, ETs, cryptids. All of us are working collectively for a better world, a better, safer world. And it's happening. It's going to happen. I have no doubt about that. I've never questioned that. And this was just confirmation, because it is happening. And, you know, if you happen to turn on the news one day and see that some aliens have landed somewhere, don't freak out. There probably will be mass panic. You're probably going to hear that they're going to, like, pull your skin off and eat it. No, just don't panic. They don't want anybody to get hurt. They're here to help. So, you know, I like this part of it where I can actually channel them, and it's something that I've been working on. I think other people who channel different things, different beings, including that people, you know, we all do things differently. You could get a message or a reading from me, and it's going to be different than the next person, but they can both be kind of telling you the same thing without telling you the same thing. We all channel differently. So I also want, you know, you guys to keep that in mind. Not everybody has the same abilities, and that's perfectly fine. That's okay. We have to understand that there are millions of abilities, not just a couple. There's millions of abilities. And it also depends on what kind of work you're doing on yourself. What are you putting into your body? What are you And that can be food, that could be visual. What are you listening to? You have to be mindful of what you put into your body. And I'm going to say this, and eventually you guys will probably hear this in every podcast, but meditation is key to unlocking and opening and exploring your abilities. It is so important. And meditation can be simple. It can be finding a good song and jamming out in the car, singing to it to the top of your lungs, letting all your cares just fly out the window as you sing. And that works. There's different meditations though, so if that's what makes you feel good, that's fine. That's not going to help open your abilities though, if you get what I'm saying. Opening your abilities can be as simple as closing your eyes and focusing on your third eye, focusing on what you want to manifest, what your intentions are, what you want to see, what you want to experience. Say it out loud. Write things down. Don't write things down like you want to do it in the future. Write it down like it's already happened. Listening to binaural beats, really high megahertz, or really low, depending on what you are wanting to experience. It is self-care. It is cleansing. It is always focusing on how you handle yourself, how you portray yourself, not letting the energy of other people affect you. And once you get so deep into meditation, things will bum you out. That's not what I'm saying. You have a way to control it better. Okay, I know that some people have a hard time handling their emotions, and our emotions and ego are what kind of stands in the way of what we can do with our lives, what we can do with our abilities. I just totally got off track talking about this, and I do that all the time, but it's definitely information that is good to know. So anyways, let's go back to the aliens. So yes, I speak to dead people, but also a lot of people don't know this about me. If you've read my book, then you do know. But my very first experience I ever had with anything paranormal that I remember was with ETs, and I was about 5 years old. I remember this place we lived, and it was up on top of a hill, a gravel road to get there, out in the middle of nowhere. The house sat on top of this little hill, and there were woods all around. Out back from, it seemed like miles. I was a kid at the time, so I'm not really sure, how far it really went back. But I do know there was just woods everywhere. So, one night I remember looking at the sky, and I saw this thing in the sky, and it was big. It was close. It was huge, and it was all lit up, and there was lights going around it. So this craft that I saw was big. I was just standing on the front porch, so it was like, we lived out in the middle of nowhere. This is the 80s. It was not uncommon for a kid to be standing on their front porch right when it got dark. So, times are different now, right? But I'm standing there, and I see this big thing, and it looks like it's coming at me. So straight in front of me was like the driveway, and to the left, up in the sky, is where it was coming from. And I watched this thing kind of go. I'm sure it wasn't like 10 feet from me, but it was really close. I could see how large it was, and it was huge. So it goes all the way down over these trees on the right side, and then it goes down into the trees, it looked like, and this light lights up, and then it goes away, and it gets really quiet and dark. So it was, it was a couple of days later, or the next day. I'm not real sure on the date. Obviously, I was 5, but I went down and looked at it, and the ground was charred in a circle, like the shape of this craft, from what I remember. I don't know what they wanted that night, but I know they know I saw them, and I think I was meant to see them. And ever since then is when the paranormal activity in my life started. From that point on, I was seeing strange things. I was seeing this doll move at the same location. I think I astral traveled a few times in my bedroom there. I had some out of body experiences, and this is all before I was like 6, and I remember these so well. If you guys want to talk about the traveling or out of body experiences, let me know. Leave a comment, and I'll do that. But so I think that the ETs have just kind of always been a part of my life. Could I be fart ET? Maybe. I don't know. I don't think that I have the blood type for that. I know there's certain blood types that are more compatible for ET bloodline. Did they chip me? Was I abducted? I think I could have been. I definitely think I could have been, because that's when everything started. That's when all these experiences began, and that was my first, that was the first one I remember vividly. So anyways, that's where I get, this love-hate relationship, because it's like my first experience. That was like what brought me into, I feel like, I don't know how to explain it. Did this open my abilities? I mean, from my conclusion, I think that there's definitely a connection. And maybe this experience I had earlier this year with the negative ones was kind of jarring me back to like, hey, don't you remember? You need to remember. You need to remember. You need to remember what happened. Think about it. This was your first experience. This led out to opening up these, this paranormal abilities. So is it connected? I don't think it's a coincidence at all. That coincidences don't exist, in my opinion. We all meet people and have experiences, meet spirit, meet different things, right? We meet people and have experiences in our lives for a bigger purpose, whether we see it or not. And that's another thing I'm always telling people. These negative experiences we go through in life, it's a soul lesson. It's something we needed to learn. So like I said earlier, don't ever let something or someone else's energy leave you bitter, because it's an experience that your soul needed to learn, whether your brain understands it or not. Our souls know so much more than our brains do. And that's just the truth. That's just how it is. I hope you guys have enjoyed this little talk about aliens and channeling. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for listening. And maybe I'll see you over on YouTube.